Hey guys, it's Bailey from Making Up Midwest, and in this tutorial I'm going to show you how to get this purple and bronze daytime smoky eye using the Jenny Rivera palette from BH Cosmetics and the new Sigma eyeshadow bases. So let's get started. The first thing I'm going to do is take Provoke, which is a shade very similar to MAC's Painterly Paint Pot, just a flesh tone, and I'm using the flat shader brush that comes with that kit, and I'm placing that on my inner corner, both on the upper lid as well as beneath the lower lash line. Next, using that same flat shader, I'm going into the shade Spy, which is this grayish color with a green duochrome, and I'm placing that all over the center part of my lid, blending it into Provoke and taking it all the way to the outer corner. I'm also using the taper tip of that flat shader to run Spy along my lower lash line as well, just for continuity's sake. Then, taking Pursue, which is this gorgeous shimmery deep purpley grape color, I'm taking a P84 from Sigma and placing that in the outer corner, and I find that this is a great brush to use because it helps naturally create the outer V shape that can sometimes be hard to get and get to be the same between both eyes. With one thin layer, this purple shade kind of shears out to a light mauve, but I want it to be a little bolder, so I'm adding another layer to each eye. Then, like I did with Spy, I'm taking that same flat shader, the taper tip, and using it to run that purple along just the outer corner of my lower lash line. And now for what is my current go-to palette every day. It's the Jenny Rivera palette from BH Cosmetics. And the first shade I'm going to start off using is this light champagne color, and this is just a flat shader from e.l.f. I'm patting that along my inner corner as well as on the inner corner of my lower lash line. Then going in with the taper blending brush from Bdellium Tools, I'm going into this light nudie shade and I'm running that right into the crease to use as kind of a matte best friend blending color. Then going in with a flat shader, I think this is from Crown Brush, I'm going into this matte, kind of deeper milk chocolate or camel shade, and I'm patting that in the outer corner and blending it in towards the inner corner. For the brow bone, I'm taking that same flat shader and a frosty white, and I'm placing that just beneath my eyebrow. Then to blend the outer camel with the inner light champagne, I'm using this bronze shade, and I'm patting that on the center of my lid, blending those two together with that same flat shader brush from e.l.f. To add a little bit more depth to the eyes, I'm adding a mixture of what is a shimmery grape purple with more of a deep plum, and I'm placing that on the outer V as well as the outer half of my lower lash line. And last on the eyes is mascara. This is Flower Beauty's Zoom In Ultimate Mascara, and I'm using that on the straight setting because it's a 3-in-1, and I'm just applying a few coats of that to the lashes. For the face, I am starting off with Baby Chew Base by Etude House to correct for any under eye discoloration that I might have. If you see my foundation routine, you'll know what that's all about. Then today I'm using Revlon's Colorstay Whipped Foundation, and I like to apply this by first dabbing it on a few areas of my skin, a few major areas that I want the most coverage, and then I go in with this massive IT Cosmetics brush and just start buffing away. It's so big and dense that it seriously takes under a minute to blend a full face of foundation. I have been loving this brush lately. To conceal, I'm using this concealer palette from Makeup Forever and a P86 from Sigma, and I'm running the lightest shade in that palette underneath my eyes. Then using one shade up, I'm using that to correct any blemishes I have around my face, just to add a little bit coverage without making it seem too bright like I have in my under eye area. Last step is going in with the Magic Lumi pen, and I'm drawing that signature Kim Kardashian triangle straight across the under eye area, down parallel to my nose, and then creating a little bit of flare in between and rubbing in with my fingers. To contour, I'm using a P82 from Sigma and a sleek contour kit, and I'm starting at my hairline and running it down towards the corner of my mouth, although it won't actually reach the corner of my mouth. That's just the general direction you want to go in. And I'm using this brush so that it really chisels my cheekbones and really creates a contour rather than an overall bronze. For blush, I'm using this blush brush from Japanesque, and I'm using a Mary Kay blush in Strawberry Cream. I think that's the shade. Check the bottom bar for real information in case that's not correct. And then last for the face, I'm going in again with that tapered brush from Bdellium Tools, the large tapered brush. And I'm running that along the tops of my cheekbones, my temples, the bridge of my nose, and my Cupid's bow. And then the last step is the lips. This is Lorax Lips with Benefits in the shade Nick, which is kind of a light pink, and that's kind of it for this look. I hope you guys enjoyed learning how to create this kind of wearable smoky daytime look with some color, some purple and bronze. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in my next video. Bye!